So I finished it and it looks pretty good, I would say. I like it. I think this is my first time painting flowers up close.
My great-grandmother was an oil painter, and I still have her set of oil paints. Throughout my life, I've created a couple of paintings using those oil paints. I've also been heavily inspired by the art and paintings that my grandmother has hanging in her home, some of which include paintings done by my great-grandmother, and some of which include paintings done by me. I decided it was time to paint again, pull out the oil paints, and find something beautiful, close to me. This time I decided to do something in nature, and since I had a small piece of wood that I had found, I think, on the side of the street in New Orleans and decided to paint it, I decided to paint something small, like some flowers, and I thought that it could be pretty close up and pretty close to a real life size. Here's one of my earlier paintings that I did. It is actually the same barn that you could see before, only
So
I'm a different artist than that larger painting.
have found myself recently driving around places and thinking, oh, that used to be farmland, or oh, there used to be a house there. And I'm just like, man, that is the definition of like getting old, and being like, wow, back in my day this was all farmland. But I just returned home. I haven't been here in 2 years, and so driving around a lot has changed. And so recently I noticed there was a new house that was built, and it was built over an old barn. And there's this old barn in my hometown, and it was really beautiful, and it was red, and it stood there for a long time. And I actually painted a painting of it. So I made this painting when I was much younger, but there were a lot of yellow flowers in the fields, and so I tried to capture the different textures of that when I painted this. And the barn is probably much redder in this picture than it was in real life, but this is my depiction of the barn that's no longer there. And in our home we have another painting of it done by another painter that's really beautiful. So anyway, coming home, seeing that barn, I'm feeling inspired to paint again, and I have decided that while I'm here, I have 7 days, I'm going to try and make an oil painting. Oil paint is really intimidating to me because it doesn't dry very quickly, so I don't really understand it. It seems very complicated. But my great-grandmother was an oil painter, and we have some of her paintings hanging up in our house, and they're really beautiful. So, you know, I feel like you don't have to be a professional in order to practice painting. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and paint something this week, and we're gonna see how it goes. This is a dogwood tree. So I think that I really don't want to like travel very far. Like I don't want to go sit somewhere like far away, like a barn in a field, like that last one. Mosquito. So it's flying around my camera. So what I think I'd like to do is just pick some sort of flower or scene of nature that's kind of in my yard here. And in our yard we have some blueberry bushes. This is a blueberry bush right here. It's kind of not really blueberry season, as you can see. Still kind of brown on the underneath, and you can see that these blueberries are kind of like dried up from last year. So, you know, maybe not the blueberries. Maybe later in the summer the blueberries would be nice. And I thought that maybe the daisies might be nice too, but I think they're like a little bit past their prime.
I know what their prime looks like because I was really lucky around Memorial Day in 2020 to get to photograph my brother and sister-in-law for an engagement shoot, all nestled up in the sweet, sweet daisies.
Prime. So I think probably what I'm gonna try and do is one of these foxglove plants and try and paint some flowers, which I've never really done before. And these look really beautiful on the inside. I'm also not sure I've ever been at this house during this time of year to see these flowers in bloom. And they're really beautiful. So I think I'm going to try and paint these foxglove flowers and learn a little bit more about them. They have this long stalk. They're very tall. What their leaves look like. This is the piece of wood that I have, and I'm going to try and paint on the back of it a picture of the foxglove. So this thing lifts up, and then you could like slide in your canvas and have it here sitting. But obviously I'm just using this piece of wood that I took off the side of the street, so probably I won't use that. Challenge number 1 is trying to create the color of this flower. So I'm using cardamom, red, and Colbert blue, and then titanium white. It's getting closer. It's kind of more lavendery. Needs to be a little more magenta-y. Whoops. Green. Not bad. Here's where we're at. Gonna start painting the green on now. So that went on way greener than I anticipated it to. This is the color green that I'm aiming for. And that color is a little yellower than this, so we're gonna try and adjust that and fix it. Okay. Things are coming along. Now I guess I gotta try and paint the dogwood in the back and probably add in some lighter white here. These have these really cool insides, little speckles. So maybe I'll try and do the background. More green for the dogwood, and then I'll add in the flowers. And that was super fun. And I did it! I'm really proud of myself. Probably the base of it could be a little bit darker down here, under here, because it's kind of shadowed over here, but the light has changed throughout the day. I finished it, and it looks pretty good, I would say. I like it. I think this is my first time painting flowers up close. And I'll put this side by side with the other image. And it looks really great, and I'm proud of myself. This took me a couple of hours. Yeah. So it felt really nice. I'm proud of myself.
Hey, thank you so much for watching my channel and for watching this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe. What I'm sharing is always a little bit different, but it's usually something to do with some art that I'm creating or some adventure I'm having off in the world as an artist, a teacher, and a Girl Scout. And occasionally my family. So thanks for coming by, and enjoy these last few photos that I took over the summer.